Hello, everyone. Many people have been asking us if Samara is home from the hospital, and the answer is no, she is not. Although she is medically cleared and is doing well, thank God, we have experienced delays in establishing home health nursing. And for purposes of safety and liability, the hospital is requiring that she come home with home health nursing. And so, although we are trained to take care of her, we aren't medical professionals. And the hospital is doing a very good job at keeping her safe until we can figure out how to get her home in a safe manner. So, although it has been sad and disappointing that she hasn't been able to come home yet, we are trusting in God's timing and know that He has a purpose in this delay. And this leads me to the purpose of this video, which is Samara's name and how we came across it. One night I was having a hard time sleeping, as women often do when we're pregnant. And my mom always says, when you can't sleep, pray. So that's what I did. I prayed. And then when I was done, I decided to scroll through my phone to see if I could come across any baby names that I liked. Sammy's name is Samuel. So I decided to look for a name with the letter S that had biblical meaning or some type of spiritual meaning. And I came across the name Samara and was very surprised when I saw the meaning of the name, which means protected by God. And I thought, how perfect is this name? Because any baby that we had, we would definitely want them to be protected by God. So I thought to myself, this is excellent. When I wake up in the morning, I will tell Sammy about it and see what he thinks. So when we get up in the morning, I tell Sammy, I found the perfect name. And he said, what is it? So I tell him the name is Samara. And he said, I told you that name a long time ago. Now, funny enough, I had absolutely no recollection of him ever telling me this name. And interestingly enough, we did have this tradition of sending each other baby names through email so that if we ever got pregnant again after our miscarriage, we would have some names to choose from. So I decided to go into my email, and sure enough, there is the email from Sammy from February 16th. Telling me different names with Samara's name on there. Now, in previous times that I've told this story, I always thought that the email was sent exactly 1 week before we found out that I was pregnant, because I found out on the 23rd of February. However, as I was working on this video and I pulled up the email, I saw that the email was actually sent February 16th, 2019. Which is over a year before I found out I was pregnant, a year and a week to be exact. And oddly enough, it was about 2 weeks after we had the miscarriage. So for whatever reason, Sammy had sent me a list of names shortly after having a miscarriage, already thinking about the baby we would have in the future. And then her middle name is Imani, Imani. I was having another sleepless night, partly because of the typical pregnancy discomforts, but then also because at this time we already knew her diagnosis, we were well into the pregnancy, and we still had not chosen a middle name. So I was up and thinking of names, and the name Imani came to mind. This time I decided not to look it up, not to write it down. I was tired, and I said if I remember this name in the morning, I would look up the meaning at that point and see what it means and then go from there. So I went back to sleep, and then when I woke up the next morning, the name was still fresh in my mind. I looked it up and saw that it meant faith. So I texted Sammy immediately and asked him what he thought about the name, and he said he loved it, and we went with the name Imani. So her name is Samara Imani. So in moments when we feel stressed or when we feel overwhelmed or sad or any of the many emotions that happen during this process, we remember that God gave us her name. God gave us Samara, and that He is protecting us. While we wait for her to come home from the hospital, we remember that God is in control. And we remember that we need to surrender to His will and to His timing. So if you are struggling with something that may be hindering you, we want you to remember to surrender to God, surrender to His timing, because ultimately He knows best and He wants what's best for us, and He has a plan. As part of her journey, there was an acrostic sent to us from Sister Leona Gabriel that sent that Samara is sent as the apple of God's eye to manifest His awesome power, revealing His amazing grace. And we truly believe that that is what Samara's purpose is, to manifest God's glory and His power through her life And so we thank you so much for listening, for wanting updates, for asking how she's doing, and more importantly, for praying for us. Please continue to look out for updates, subscribe to our channel to get more information. And thank you again for all your prayers and your support. Take care.